state representative, made big news this morning. We just put a press release out. It's our lead story at the Tennessee Star. Johnny, tell us what you're planning to do politically.
Well, I have decided and announced today that I'm going to be a candidate in the 6th Congressional District for U.S. Congress. And I'm excited about being the conservative candidate in that race that's going to support and be that conservative fighter to make sure we pass President Trump's agenda. So I'm looking forward to the campaign trail today.
So it sounds to me like you are 100% behind the Donald Trump MAGA agenda.
Absolutely. Ever since he was inaugurated, even in his first term, look what he's done for the country and look what he's done for Tennesseans. I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
It's been quite a 6-month period of time, hasn't it?
It has.
It's not even 6 months yet.
I don't know that any president in 6 months has gotten what he's gotten done in that limited amount of time.
So your background is you are the majority whip in the Tennessee House of Representatives. You served in the House of Representatives here in Tennessee for how long?
This is my 4th term, and I'm in my 7th year, and I'll have my 8th year when we come back in January, when we gavel back into session.
You and I have something in common. We love baseball.
Absolutely love baseball.
First time I met you, we went down and met with the guys that are trying to bring a professional baseball team here to Nashville.
That's right. That's right. Still working on that.
Still working on it. I think there's a shot. We got a shot at it someday. And you've been involved in Little League.
That's right.
Quite a bit, right?
That's right. Still president of the Goodlettsville Little League program, and love baseball. Baseball is the bedrock of any community, and what I love most about baseball is that it's a game. It's a game of failure, right? I mean, if you bat 300 out of 1,000, that sounds like you're doing a pretty bad thing, but that means you're striking out or getting out 2/3 of the time.
Yeah.
Right. That's life. I mean, you get knocked down, you get back up, and you keep fighting. That's why I love kids and how they learn that game of baseball to just keep competing, because there is something to win at the end of the game, and that's friendship, loyalty, teammates. I mean, it's just everything that we love as a community.
Yeah,
is
I
wrapped
share
up
that.
in baseball.
Yeah, I share that. Plus, the other thing I love about baseball, there's no time clock.
That's right.
You know?
Well, now though, I guess if you're a pitcher,
there's a pitcher.
There is like I don't know, 18, 20
league
seconds, and you got to pitch, which hopefully speeds up the game. But you're right. It could be a 2-hour game, or it can be like some back in the day when it went 18 innings and it was 4 hours long, going to the wee hours of the morning.
You know, and the other thing about baseball being great for kids, you know, they're disconnected from their cell phones and social media, and they are literally in the moment. That is, watching the pitch come at them, watching the ball, either as a grounder, they got to focus on that.
That's right.
And so I think it's great for kids, and your involvement is just exemplary in that. I think
I appreciate it. It's been a lifetime love. I started playing ball at 4 with my dad, and that was one of the biggest things we had as a connection. Of course, I lost him several years ago, but I've just kind of, he's still with me when I can be involved in baseball, and he's, of course, one of the reasons why I stick with it. It drives my wife crazy, but it's something I'm passionate about, and because I do think it's the backbone of any community is playing sports. Right? It's just a good thing
I
to
completely agree. The other thing we have in common is that you're a graduate of the Nashville School of Law and an attorney with a long record of practice. I am a rising second-year law student. And all I have to say, having gone through the first year, is, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. He did a lot of work to get to where you are as an attorney, and then you've got a great practice as an attorney as well.
Well, I appreciate that, and I respect and you for doing what you're doing, because I remember those days. The first year is usually the weed out period, and since you survived, that means you worked hard and you're ready to take that second, third, and at the night law school, National School Law, it's a 4-year program, so you got a little bit of ways, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it at the end. And
the other thing too that I just love about the National School of Law, as you know, the history of it. It's the law school of the common man.
Mm-hmm.
It was founded, over 100 years ago.
That's right.
It's
exclusively at night.
The night law school. For many years, it was the YMCA night law school.
That's right.
And there's something very Tennessee about the National School of Law, because it exists because the Tennessee Supreme Court said, we need to have common people, the average person, middle-class person, to give them an opportunity to understand the law and practice the law. And it's not ABA accredited. Mm-hmm. To do that would, double tuition, I think, from what I'm told. But the Tennessee Supreme Court says, no, this is important.
That's right. Well, that's one of the things that's great about Tennessee, right? I mean, not everybody's going to a 4-year institution or whatnot. I mean, you can get out of high school now, and with the career that you choose, either go straight into the workforce or do a technical career or whatnot. I mean, that's what we've built here in the state of Tennessee, and what I've been part of, at least for the past 7 years, is folks can better themselves in any field, whether it's more education or getting directly into the workforce.
As a member of the Tennessee General Assembly leadership, 2 huge accomplishments this year. Number one, the passage of school choice, which is top on the priority of Donald Trump. And you passed it. Congratulations on that.
Again, that's Trump winning. That's his agenda that's going to effectively better our students. I mean, just like Trump has said, we need to get rid of the Federal Department of Education. Put education back into the power of parents. And I think that's what that piece of legislation will do, and I think it'll start a fire for the education system here in Tennessee. And what I hope to bring that experience in passing that legislation here, I'm ready to bring that little bit of Tennessee to D.C. to get rid of the Department of Education.
Let me tell you something. Bringing Tennessee to Washington, D.C. is very important. And the other part that I really like about your background is, you're very much involved in baseball. You like the teamwork aspects of it, the loyalty aspects of it. That part of your personality, it is really what helps you become the majority whip. And you have a very interesting style as majority whip. You don't literally whip people. You talk to people, and you persuade them in a very nice Tennessee way.
That's right.
Which is great. The success of the school choice bill was a team effort. It was you and Majority Leader Lamberth and Speaker Sexton in the House. It was Lieutenant Governor McNally and State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson in the Senate, working with Governor Lee's team. You had the special session at the beginning, which was a novel idea, but it really worked. You got it passed. So that was fantastic. And then the other huge victory, Scarametti v. United States
Absolutely.
of America. And that was a bill that you helped pass.
It was a bill that we worked hard on, that the far left ACLU folks tried to make it where parents could actually decide for their children to cut body parts off. The U.S. Supreme Court saw through that nonsense. And, if I'm lucky enough to be the congressman for the 6th District, I want that to be my first piece of legislation to protect all kids throughout the nation. I mean, there should be that should be a bipartisan effort. That should be something that should be on the forefront of what Tennessee led in order to achieve that success to protect minors in this state. We should do that at the federal level. That's why I'm excited about being the conservative candidate and support President Trump's agenda to be that person in Congress that's going to make those tough decisions.
The other thing about this, which was fascinating, is putting the law together. The leaders in the state Senate, Jack Johnson, the majority leader, and then you and Majority Leader Lamberth and Speaker Sexton. You sat down and you talked to Attorney General Scarametti. And you said, okay, look, what we want to do is we want to pass a law that will ban genital mutilation of children, puberty blockers, hormone therapy for children, because they are young. They're going to develop. It is a barbaric practice. And you sat down, but instead of just kind of, just saying, oh, yeah, we're just going to throw something out there, you crafted that. You worked very hard, and you talked to General Scarametti, and you created a bill that was really a terrific example of legislative teamwork the Tennessee way.
Absolutely, and you will see no different if the 6th District decides to send me to Congress on the collaborative effort to make sure we push what is important to Trump, important to his agenda, and making sure we pass and protect children. Again, I can't even believe we're still having this conversation about
it is kind of
parents
crazy
that want to mutilate their kids. It shouldn't even be a conversation we're having.
If you think about 15 years ago, if somebody were to say this, you would put them in a mental asylum.
Exactly.
I
mean, if you're an adult, 18, 19, whatever you become, and you want to do this to your body, fine. This is America. You can do that. Go right ahead. But our kids at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old having a problem where they think we don't let people amputate their arm if their arm is hurting one day. Well, let's just get rid of it. It's nonsense. It's unfortunate, but I'm going to be that fighter in Congress to make sure that we protect our children.
Now, the 6th Congressional District has a number of counties. It's got a little bit of Davidson County. It's got some suburban counties, and it's got some rural counties. The race in the 6th district is different than the race in the 7th. The 7th is a special election. The primary in the 7th will be, I think, probably October this year. When will your primary take place?
My primary for the 2026 is August the 6th.
So you've got a year plus.
We got a minute. I
got 13 months.
I would say the difference between the 7th and the 6th. The 7th is going to be a sprint. The 6th is going to be a marathon, and we're going to be in it to win it. I'm looking forward to that campaign when we have election day on August the 6th.
I like that sports comparison. It's not baseball, but it gets the point across.
That's right. I'll say I'm not here to bunt, Michael. I'm here to swing away. So
I set you up for that one.
Yes,
There, Johnny Garrett swinging away for 13 months in a very long campaign. When we come back, Johnny, I want to talk a little bit about the campaign, a little bit about the 6th district, and kind of your plan to win.
Sure.
The primary and the general. We're talking with Johnny Garrett, the Tennessee House Majority Whip, who just announced this morning his candidacy for Congress in the 6th Congressional District here in Tennessee. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website is TennesseeStar.com. By the way, our lead story right now is your announcement at TennesseeStar.com. Back with Johnny Garrett after this. Tell us a little bit about the 6th District. It's kind of a large district, lots of counties, and a mix. You've got Davidson County, a little bit of Davidson County, Nashville. You got some suburban areas, like parts of Wilson County, I think. And then
some of Wilson, that's right.
And then a lot of rural counties.
That's right. Well, I can tell you that the 6th Congressional District is awfully conservative. They want conservative leaders that will be a conservative fighter that will fight for President Trump's agenda, bar none. But we've got it all, right? You've got a little bit of the big city all the way to rural America that produces all of our good food that Tennessee does, right? So it's a vast, diverse district. You got some folks up the Upper Cumberland where it's usually 10 or 12 degrees, a little bit cooler, maybe not as much humidity, still there, but not as much. And I am looking forward to the campaign trail to meet as many people from all 19 counties that I can to make
19
counties to make sure they know that I'm going to be the conservative candidate, the conservative fighter for them and their voice in D.C. to make sure that the values, the ideas, the agenda that President Trump does is going to be good for Tennessee, as he's already proved. So I can't wait to get the word out about what we're going to do and what we're going to achieve.
You know, it's interesting. 19 counties, the rural counties, they'll have a county seat, won't have a lot of people. You go and talk to them. It's a different thing to campaign there than it is in even suburban Wilson County and then, urban Davidson County. Different experiences, right?
That's absolutely, but that's the definition. That's America, right? On one place is not always going to be the same as the other, and that's what I look forward to this campaign trail, to meet all those folks. I want to listen. I want to be that person that says, look, when you tell me something and I look you in the eye and I tell you that I'm going to do something, they're going to know Johnny Garrett as a conservative is going to do it. That's what our values are always about.
So you've got a lot of experience in constituent service as a state rep, right?
That's right.
And tell us a little bit about what your philosophy of constituent services will be like, because a congressional seat, it's about almost 8 or 9 times the population. It's like 750,000 people.
That's right.
A lot. So, what will your strategy be in constituent services?
Well, I think we will hire people that want to be part of the movement, right? That believe in the conservative movement, that believe in President Trump, but also those that value direct communication, right? Want to make sure that you're touched. If you call my office, you email my office, we got to make sure that we respond accordingly, just like I've done in the past 7 years in the House. I tell my folks that on any given day, I want to make sure that I make constituent calls. Folks that call in my office, or even maybe they don't, just check in on them.
Really?
That's one of the largest reasons why I want to do this.
So you make constituent calls every day?
I make maybe not every day, but we focus on at least weekly, especially when we're in session. It's a little bit more difficult. We make sure that people call back, we reach out to our constituents to make sure, hey, is there anything that you need, anything that we can do for you? And that's what I plan to do when I'm elected in Congress for the 6th, is to make sure they feel like their voice is being heard by their congressman.
And my guess is that when a constituent calls you, you don't say, well, are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican?
Absolutely not.
Is it like, what's your problem and how can I fix it?
Right, that's right. Now that doesn't mean I won't give them my opinion if someone calls in and they may be a Democrat, to say that's not really where I'm going to stand, what I'm going to do, etc. But the fact that I would be the congressman for all, and by the basic way that we serve folks, we work for the people. And that's the mindset that you got to have.
When somebody calls you, there are like two different kinds of things they could be calling you about. Number one is they would say, I like or I don't like the way you voted on this bill, or how do you want to vote on it? Here's my opinion. That's one view. The other is like pure basic constituent services, right? Like I got a problem with, I don't know, Medicaid, or I got a problem with this or Medicare.
The most interesting task I got, even though I'm not on the federal level now, and Senator Haggerty was very integral in this process, is someone actually got detained in Canada.
No,
believe it or not, and that became
hold it. Somebody
story.
from your legislative district was detained in Canada.
That's right, and
a constituent.
What'd
you do about this?
Well,
why were they detained?
Well, that's a whole. They actually
they were detained.
Well, they were detained. They were crossing, and they didn't realize. Canada doesn't have our beholden, beloved Second Amendment, and they had a pistol in the car, so he was actually detained for smuggling guns. And I even talked to a lawyer.
He didn't
up there.
realize that.
Yeah, and he went to law school here in America, and he said, we don't have your Second Amendment like
they don't
we
have.
should.
I know. One of my best friends lives in Winnipeg, Canada.
They don't.
And we talk about this, and he says, well, of course you can have a gun. So what are you talking about? They do not have a Second Amendment in Canada.
They don't.
So okay, so this person.
So I literally, I don't want to name that person's name, but it literally became Mr. Johnson, let's say, day in my office to get him out of Canada, and thankfully we have a senator like Bill Haggerty who had been in the State Department, knew what to do. He was really instrumental. Of course, I took credit for it, but he was real instrumental in getting him out of Canada.
So did he call your office, or did
he actually did? And
he was in a detention center,
and
in Canada?
they let him get a phone call,
and you were the call,
and they gave me his full name, which I knew him. I didn't realize his full name, so I thought it was a prank. And it took me 2 or 3 times to realize this is actually real. And
how long did it take you to get him out?
It was 7 hours, 7 or 8 hours.
That's
to
pretty
finally
good.
get him out, and they released him and confiscated, by the way, all of his guns, all of his ammunition. Said you can come back. But he decided not to try to come back and cross the border, and just left his guns in Canada. Thank goodness we have a Second Amendment.
Did he leave
here.
Canada and come back to the States?
He did.
Immediately?
He did.
So get me out of this place.
That's right. That's right.
Did he
I
send
don't
you a
think
thank
this
you note?
particular individual will be heading back to Canada anytime
Johnny Garrett, thank you for getting me out. Canadian detention.
That's right. Literally the Border Patrol is what got him. It's crazy.
It's almost like a meme.
Yeah,
That's
right.
If you get in trouble and you're a constituent of Johnny Garrett, he will take care of you.
But I'm telling you, if President Trump hadn't appointed Bill Haggerty as our ambassador to Japan, I don't know how effective we would have been. So there's President Trump's magic once again, working to get someone out of Canada. So,
Johnny Garrett, that's a great story. Well, thank you for joining us. Good luck in your campaign.
Thank you very much.
As you've announced your campaign. And what's the website people can go to?
JohnnyGarrettForCongress.com.
JohnnyGarrettForCongress.com.
We've got a Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the whole shebang. JohnnyGarrettForCongress.com.
And your announcement for the GOP nomination in the 6th Congressional District is at TennesseeStar.com. It's our lead story.
Thank you,
Johnny.
For that.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank
today.
you very much.
All right,
we appreciate you.